welcome to the Smite Force Chronicles.
I think we're calling this episode Into the Hatch, which is my assumption. So you said, I was hearing that there's a new player may want to join?
Yes, but let me confirm. I will discuss with you the next session.
Awesome. Yeah, I think there's room for up to 2 more people. And we have a character all rolled up if anyone ever wants to drive that person. Cool. So when we were last here, you guys were, I think maybe met before we played and said, how can we make this more complicated for the GM here? So there were 6 places you could go to in our last, sort of when you were sort of dividing up, and you decided to go to 4 places at once. One group of you, Tyros and Alexandria, they headed to the coast to sort of explore the island. While they were there, they discovered the entrance to what looks like 3 ancient caves. The thought being that while the tide is out, that's the only time that you would see these caves or have access to these caves. Made their way down and found a marrow, a large marrow, at least 1, potentially 2, and made the call to maybe, I don't know, not die and escape. So good news is, paid off. They were able to make their way back up to the cliff walls, and Alexander was able to fly, and just in the nick of time. There was a chance they could have taken the marrow, but there was just as good of a chance that they wouldn't have survived. While they were at the beach, their cohorts in the East Tower, and this was Glory and Dinjarin, they were exploring the East Tower. Looked like it was hadn't been used much, a lot of dust. Looked like there was some storage happening there. They looked around a few of the rooms, and sort of like the round towery part of the tower, there were a couple of telescopes. One overlooked the seas, and you could see back into the city of Flan. The other also overlooked the seas, and they could actually see the beach. They were able to actually see both Tyros and Alexandria sort of making their way down to those big caves. So interesting things happening on that front. Well, worth noting on the beach side, they did escape and decided to head inland. So they've just sort of stepped into the interior of the island, and that's where they are right now. Back to Glory and Dinjarin, they were exploring the East Tower. They explored a kitchen, they explored a storage area, and they heard some thumping and some rattling. And through doing so, moved a bunch of chairs that were piled up and discovered a door behind these stored chairs. Opened the door without incident, walked into the room, and there was a hatch in the floor, a metal hatch with 2 doors. They each opened a door, and through an unlucky roll, made a lot of racket. So the metal doors clanked and rattled and dropped open. They were met with the smell of sage and herbs, so they expected some mustiness coming from down there, but it smelled pretty good. Stephanos, on her own, went to explore the lighthouse, and she's explored the main part of the lighthouse, and the first floor of sort of the circular staircase tower area that would take her to the top, and hasn't discovered anything overly significant. It was well kept. Discovered a room that probably belonged to Grim, who seems to be there more frequently. But some good stuff, happening in the lighthouse. Well on the way to sort of unraveling that mystery of why this light's out. Finally, hold on 1 second. All right, let me finish my narrative, and then I'll give you a heads up on that call. Where was I? Who was I talking about, you guys? Help me out.
Glory.
Glory.
Hadn't
Glory?
discovered too much.
No, I mean.
No, we already talked about me. We were talking about Stephanie.
Oh yeah, Stefanos.
Oh,
Yeah,
did we go to Stefanos?
Oh, no, sorry.
Way to pay attention, David. So Stefanos, yeah. So Stefanos is exploring the lighthouse, and I think getting ready to ascend the stairs, if I'm not mistaken. And finally, we had Tempe. So Tempe explored the West Tower. The West Tower was a decrepit, sort of broken down, what looked like possibly a church or a place of worship or something. Lots of stone. Did find a giant cement slab, along the east wall, with curiously some rope tied to the wall, going under this cement slab. And Tyros, you were playing Tempe. Did I miss anything? I think his decision at the time was he was going to leave the West Tower and then regroup with one of the other parties.
Yeah, he attempted to actually open the slab, but it has a magical protectant over it, and he had lost, I think, 3 hit points of damage. So that was my bad. I was too anxious to get in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It seems to be a charged in magic. Right.
Yeah.
So brute force is.
I was
not
wondering how I
the,
started bleeding.
Yeah, brute force is not the path forward.
Yep.
All right, so that's where we're going to pick off. I do have some bad news. I need to take a quick break to pick up my son from school. They called. He dislocated his knee. I'm sorry, he dislocated his kneecap and is hurt. I've just got to go pick him up from school, and I will regroup with you guys in probably 15 or so minutes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave this up. No one needs to leave. If you guys, I'm going to pause the recording so no one wants to sit through 15 minutes of silence. Or maybe I won't. I'll just leave it and I'll just edit it out. This is a good time for you guys to maybe, and Dinjarin, you've already done this. Glory needs to program some spells and do whatever. It's do a little housekeeping. So I'll be right back. Apologies for the delay. See you in a second.
Oh, no apologies,
No problem.
man.
No problem. Yep. I was just gonna ask, how is this kid doing?
Yeah, when I heard he dislocated his knee and fractured it too or something, oh my
Dislocated
god.
his kneecap. Yeah, that's gotta be painful.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say, Alexandria and Tyros, when I was watching the recap of the thing, and you guys were going down and oh, we're gonna go check out that cave. I was like, don't do it! I was screaming at the screen, don't go in there! Stop! There's something in there. But I realized I can see Thomas's view, so I saw the monsters in there before you guys got down. So I was like, oh my god!
That's
So this-
awesome.
This trapdoor in the West Tower. Did I hear there was another trapdoor somewhere? That was what Curtis
There was a
and
door
Sarah
that,
found,
yeah.
and that's in the East Tower. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's that's not blocked by anything.
Yeah, our door wasn't really
No.
booby trapped either. It was just a heavy steel door that we opened.
Mm.
But
They
we
heard
heard
knocking, remember?
Yeah. That was the one thing, is we could hear knocking. It
Yeah.
was
I wonder if
Yeah.
this trapdoor that is booby trapped requires magic or something to.
It is, yeah. There's there's definitely some magic that is holding that door shut, and it's like a slab. It's not so much a door, but it's a full slab that's got a sort of a protective dome over it. But there is a rope that is going underneath the slab, and that's what I was trying to investigate, was how to get down there.
Right.
yeah. So far, I think the only one who's kind of been relatively safe is Stefanos, who's in the lighthouse. Nothing has happened.
And you're gonna leave the lighthouse, Stefanos? Oh look, we have two.
Stop talking.
Floor.
Too much echoing.
Two
I don't know how to
glories.
make it stop.
Glory, you're on Discord twice.
I think she's aware.
Hey, do you guys have a favorite YouTube upload of our gameplay. I'm trying to send it to Garrett to entice him to join.
Of our play,
I would think maybe when we were near the top level of getting out of the Goblin Cave.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's like we're not complete noobs and there's actually a lot of action happening.
is he a experienced player?
No, he'd be new, but he's very interested.
Oh, okay.
I thought Sam was gonna join too, but I guess he didn't.
He every time I've talked to him, he has some excuse like, "Oh, I got this going on and I got that going on." I'm like, "Okay, Sam."
Sure,
Can we take a
Mr.
vote?
Manager.
Like, can this be a democracy? Can we be
As
like,
to who we let in.
yeah?
Uh,
Can we
I was about to
gatekeep?
say, does that mean you guys get to vote people out too? Like, if I get too mean, am I gonna get voted out? Sorry, Dinjar, you are off
I
the
might
island.
leave you in a bar or something. Everyone will escape at the back door while Dinjarin is still drinking at the bar.
I know you guys will like, oh hey, we'll buy you around, and then I turn around, you guys are all gone. I'm like, what happened? Where is everyone?
I use this space as like an escapism. I don't need to be ripped back into reality.
Democracy? What's democracy?
Democracy, I believe, is the biggest sword wins.
Yeah,
Is that not how it works here?
my wife finally told me, she's like, on the weeks you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, you're a lot more cranky. She's like, hey, you actually need to play the game. It's like, I know, right? It's weird.
Greg gets really mad when I play it because he hears all the fun and he can't participate. So he like asks me questions. I'm like, you need to. This is my time, not your time. He's like, I want to play.
Usually, my little guy comes in like around 12:30, and it's like, oh, is that the game? Which one are you? Where's the dragon? What are you doing? And I'm trying to listen, and it's like, dude, my time.
Why is your son's reaction to this game so similar to my husband's? Just kidding. He's standing right here.
Although, in all fairness, if I walked into somebody playing this, I'd be asking the same question. What do you do? What's going on? Which one are you? Do you have powers? Yeah, my wife just rolls her eyes every time she knows I'm playing on a Wednesday.
I get laughed at. She's like, I hear you guys talking and you say the weirdest things like, I'm going to hit him with this. And she's like, what? If you guys ever want to watch like a really cool group, I mean, not that we're not cool, but there's a group called Critical Role on YouTube, and they're all voice actors, and it's the way they play is really cool.
It is so
good. They have a show now, right?
Yeah,
on Amazon, I think.
Yeah, it was like their first campaign they made into a cartoon or something. Not for kids. So don't let kids watch that cartoon. I watched it and I was like, oh my god, I should not let my daughter see this. Because I was like, oh yeah, it's a cartoon. You can watch the first episode with me. And within like the first 10 minutes, let's say there's things that happen that kids should not, of age 8, should not be privy to yet. So I was like, all right, we're done. I'll watch this later. But they're a good group to watch and learn. They know the spells and stuff really well. So I didn't realize I have some of the spells that one of them used, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it could do that. It's like, that's actually a good spell. Then I didn't want to ever use it because I thought it was crap, but apparently it's pretty decent.
Have you ever guys had any of you guys had an issue where your computer's sound only comes from one microphone? Or one speaker, I should say, not microphone. And like, do you know how to fix it?
Haven't had that problem.
Like, are you wanting it to go to headphones, but it's coming out of your computer speaker kind of thing?
No, like I have two
One side of your
speakers, but it's
speakers
only
is not
coming out
working.
of one
Yeah.
speaker. And my right ear has to deal with all the sound, and my left ear is just
All right,
Fine.
go to
Figure it out.
system preferences.
Siri, choose the voice you
Not Siri like that, but system preferences.
yeah.
You got to go to sound, and then
Wait, for Discord or for my computer?
it's for your computer. Go to sound, and then grab a hammer and hit your computer very hard on the speaker that's not working.
I hate you.
Like, I'm opening it up to follow along. I'm like, there's nothing here that's gonna fix that.
I got it. All right, I'll be back.
Yeah, you want a big hammer if you're gonna get it, like a mallet, not one of those small little hammers. I gotta admit, for a second there, based off of Thomas's facial expressions and the fact that he said, "I'll let you guys all know about this in a minute," I was like, "Are we all getting let go? Is that like,
Yeah,
hey,
I thought
we
it
don't
was
need a
gonna be
merchant team anymore?"
work related. Yeah, we're shutting it all down.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I did not go there at all. Is there always a fear this time of year of getting laid off or something, or is the PayPal thing?
No,
That's
it's a
just how I made it
thing.
through my career.
Yeah, I would
It's
say that's
literally-
like a lifelong thing.
I didn't think we were going to get fired. I thought that, I don't know, our stock went down even further or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Oh, you mean $95?
My broker just called me and told me to
Yeah.
sell.
You mean the $95 it's at isn't enough for you? I don't know if you muted because you were cussing or what, but it was the perfect time to go on mute.
I definitely did not need that kind of energy today. Purpose.
I apologize. I've actually been really good at not looking. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to look. I'm going to keep it like a mystery. And then for whatever reason this morning, I was like, I'm just going to check. And I really wish I hadn't.
It's,
Yeah,
you know,
but-
I mean, I'm just waiting for the quarterly call. Hopefully it'll go up. It always goes down just a little bit before we have our finance calls.
Or
I
after.
don't think I've ever seen this stock. Oh, or after, yeah. I've never seen the stock shoot up before a call. Can anyone explain to me why there can't be a standardized way of writing dates on receipts? I'm going through all of our bills and I see 022, 0325, and then it'll be 03, 02225. Like, I have no idea what day I'm looking at. Am I looking at March 5th or May 3rd? And put dates in the same place. Sorry, venting.
That would make life too easy. Got to keep you on your toes.
Don't want to be on I'm on my toes enough at work. Is that grad program thing tonight, Stephanie? You're on mute.
Oh, then yes, I have to make a deck after this. Oh,
That'll be fun.
yeah.
Did you figure out what they were expecting you to talk about, or is it literally just anything you kind of want to go over?
Oh wait. They just sent the schedule, and you're supposed to cover like, um, you're either supposed to do like a 20-slide visual presentation on your interest or your work. I'm just going to talk about my journey in my career. But it's literally 3 hours of back-to-back stuff like portfolio reviews, presentations, roundtable. And I was looking at the schedule. I was like, okay, when am I going to use the restroom? And I literally had to like reply back like, hey, we need some bio breaks in here. 3 hours straight. I did not sign up for this.
Is it a student run showcase? Because I know when I was in design school many moons ago, we had something similar, but it was the students who actually reached out to the people who would come and speak.
No, it was the chair of the department, and I think he just voluntold me to be a speaker, quite honestly, because I never agreed to it. I told him I would come and review portfolios, and I was like, that will be my, me giving back. And then he just listed me on the flyer. I was like, shit, well, gotta figure that out.
I'm back.
Hey, is everything okay?
He is, yeah. He was just so my son, as you may or may not know, was tackled by a kid named Frankie at school, and they were playing around, and he has a sprained knee and possibly a dislocated kneecap. But because of our lovely healthcare system, he can't go in. He won't know about the kneecap until Monday.
Yeah.
Good old healthcare. My daughter,
Really?
when she broke her arm, when she broke her arm, her appointment to get it set was 3 days after she broke it. They put a temporary cast on her, and then had to reset her arm 3 days later.
What is it with the U.S. health?
Who can say? Good times. Okay, awesome.
Well, it's because he doesn't pay for the platinum service. So
that's true. That's true. And the way our stock is today, I can't afford to, get him fixed at all. He may just have to live with a broken knee. No. All right. So anyway, so I'm not sure what you guys talked about while I was gone. I'm sure it was awesome, fun, engaging stuff that I can't wait to hear about later. But
shoot, you were recording.
Yeah. Should I delete that without listening?
Oh no.
Okay. So Tempe looks like he stepped away. So when he gets back, we can proceed. So I want you guys to think about. Actually, why don't we just do Stefanos now? So Stefanos, first off, does everyone have the maps shared?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Let me reshare just for giggles. Lighthouse, floor 1. Share with everybody. All right. So Stefanos, you're in this room. The room to the west was Grimm's bedroom. The room to the right was that the kitchen area that you went into. And I believe that you went. Have you went ahead yet? I can't remember if you went into the next room.
I don't think so.
All right. So then the question I have for you is, where do you go next? So many decisions.
Yeah, I guess. So, sorry, I want to understand what this thing is in front of me. Is that a light? I can't really tell from the illustration. Platform?
Oh, you mean then directly in front of you is a door.
Directly in front of me is a door.
Yeah, I can open it up. There you go. Your door is open now.
So I'm still seeing over just the aerial view of the pattern on the ground it looks like elaborate tile work and this circular light.
Are you looking at the lighthouse
no.
image?
I'm
You're on
looking
the
at
wrong map. You should be on Lighthouse.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the fun part of all of this, you guys, is that you each have access to the maps that everyone else is on. I wish you could just share with the people on the combat tracker. Like, so if your character is on the map, then I should be able to share with just those people, right? You shouldn't all have to. Well, actually, you shouldn't even be able to see the other stuff. So, Stavanos, tell me when you have your map open.
Yes, I have it open. I'd like to go through the door and up the staircase.
All right. So go ahead and move into the room. And she's up on the stairs. So what you see here is, the southernmost room seems to be stairs heading up to, up several flights to the lighthouse beacon. This area is empty, less a few crates for storage. Again, the staff has kept this area very clean. So this just looks like any stairwell entry area. Anything you want to do before you head up?
No, I'm just going to keep on going up.
All right, let's see it through. Let me share the next level up. Good times. Yeah, I learned my lesson. I used to do these as layers on the same map, but it turns out that's a bad idea. All right, let me pop you in. So there you are, Stefanos. So,
Okay.
As you wind your way up the stairs, you find yourself in a small area. It's lit with a little brazier. Someone's keeping this light going. It's probably the staff. It seems that perhaps the Black Guards have set this area up to play cards and maybe pass the time. Again, you know that their job was to watch the tower. So it's clear that, from the first level and the second level, that they've actually, spent some time doing their jobs, right? So, you begin to wonder, like, how in the world could this lighthouse have gone out with these guys standing guard? Anything you want to do here?
Yeah, I just want to check the stuff on the table.
All right. So just, with your passive perception, you see that there's some cards. There's looks like a spittoon and a plate, as well as there's 7 gold pieces. Looks like someone's winnings. Other than that, there's really nothing else in this room.
Am I able to look out from any of the windows?
You can. There's on each edge of the each quadrant of this spiral staircase is an arrow slit. So it looks like it's also was originally used as a defensive mechanism. So, which direction would you like to look? North, south, east, or west?
I want to look out here.
All right.
North.
All right. So north sort of looks out across. You're in the northeast part of the keep. So what you see out this window is honestly the sea, and off in the distance you can see Flan. Now you don't have as good of a view as with the telescope, but you definitely can see the city from there.
Okay, so there's actually nothing wrong with this lighthouse.
Well, I mean, not on this level. The light's out. So structurally, yeah, this all seems sound. And those are arrow slits, like I said. So, you're on basically the second floor, which is a good advantageous position for whoever might have to defend the keep.
And can I continue going up? Oh, I guess I didn't ask how many floors there were.
Well, you'll know in just a second. So you absolutely can keep going up. Give me 1 second. Let me share the next floor with you. Oops. And sharing. Let's move you up here. All right. So, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. 47 stairs. You think as you reach the top, what an unsettling number of stairs to end on. 47. Tired and a bit sweaty, and slightly dizzy from the climb, you find yourself, wow, so many typos, atop the lighthouse. It's a wraparound platform with windows all around. It gives you an excellent view of the surrounding area, including Thorn Island and the city of Flan. It's a bit dark, too dark to be able to call it a lighthouse. Maybe a dark house would be more fitting. You chuckle to yourself before you realize that that's a horrible joke and not at all funny. Thank the gods that you didn't crack it out loud. Anyway, the beacon is dark. So I'll move you the rest of the way up the stairs, and you are now at the uppermost level. The stairs terminate here. You can see all around, including you have a good view of the entire island and the city.
I don't, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but wasn't there some type of issue that we were trying to solve at Lighthouse with it not being lit?
Yeah, it's not lit. You know that this lighthouse is magical in nature, so it's not like they just light wood. But no one can figure out why it's off. Everything seems, on the up and up. If you want to know anything else, go ahead and roll a perception check.
All right, I'm gonna roll a perception check.
Ooh. Oh, here you go. So what you see in the center is this crystal and brass beacon, right? It's sort of in the center of it. There's no levers, there's no switches. You know that this is some sort of magical thing. And your spidey sense says that you maybe should check to see if the magic's broken. But to do that, you would need to roll an Arcana check.
So I'm gonna roll an Arcana.
But along with your 24, because that's such a strong roll, I will say that out the east side of the lighthouse, just off in a distance, you can't make out what they're doing, but you see Alexandria and David sort of standing on the edge of this sort of forest area.
Who is this David?
I'm sorry, Tyros. All right. That's a 12. That's good enough. So, again, from a magic perspective, nothing seems to be physically wrong. The magic seems to be, on the up and up, but it's just not working. But, and this thing still sort of radiates this strong evocation magic. So, it's almost as if the magic is still firing, it's just the light's not shining. And while you think about your next move, I'll be right back. I've got it. My son needs his phone, and he can't get up. So, I'm Nurse Ratchet. Okay, so, well, Stephanos, before I leave, anything else you want to do in the tower?
Well, ideally, I'd like to light this fire.
Yeah, but just from your Arcana and from your perception, that the magical part of it's a magical fire. It's just it appears that everything is perfectly well. It's just something is stopping the light from shining. So there's really no way, basically with those two rolls, there's nothing you can do about it, with your magic or with anything physical. There's something else that's at play.
Okay. There's much left to explore this tower, so I exit out.
All right, and where would you like to go next? Do you want to join? Well, you wouldn't. Well, actually, no, you do know. Would you like to join Tyros and Alexandria, or would you like to join Dinjarin and Glory?
I think I'll join Tyros and Alexandria.
Awesome. And the good news is you were able to see where they were outside of here. So I will drop you over there. I'm going to unload this. I'm going to unload this. And I'm going to unload this. So let me take you back to that section. The interior of the island. Boom. And then I'm going to take a quick break. Like a 30-second break. Stefanos. So Tyros and Alexandria, as you guys are sort of standing there, like looking at this really sort of thick fog like crawl across the landscape, you're sort of startled when Stefanos kind of spooks you, right, and lets you know that she saw you guys from the lighthouse. And you were up to sort of like checking out this interior, so she thought she'd throw her weight behind you, her minimal weight because she is a small person. And spend a little time exploring this inner island with you guys. And on that note, we're going to pick up with you guys next. Let me know what you're going to want to do when I return in just a few minutes.
All right, what are we feeling?
The sacrifice of a small child must be made in order to have the light regain its brightness. So I'm working on that.
See, you guys all blamed me about the missing child last time, but look who's trying to sacrifice, huh? I'm just saying, maybe Dinjarin isn't as bad as you think, huh?
When I was here last and I drugged the lighthouse keeping family, it seemed like they wanted to offload their kid, so he's prime candidate number one.
See, I'm not the only one.
All right, what kind of smack talk was what happened this time I was gone? All right.
Glory wanted to sacrifice a child.
Yeah, glory. We gotta let's take a look real quick. Glory, if I look at your identity, it says that you are
chaotic neutral. So I'm willing to sacrifice a child for the greater good, so that our ports can open back up and we can receive resourcing. Yeah, there are children that are much younger than this child, this very well-kept child who gets to have an whole island to himself. There are small children, babies in fact, that need resources from the
redistribute the life of this child to other children.
All right, so
exactly. Chaotic.
Is he an organ donor?
Are you the Robin Hood of Souls?
Unofficial, but
all right, yeah, you're right. So you're playing your character. I just wanted to make sure you're playing your character well, and you are, because you're. If others, it says here, if others were to see a demon, they would run screaming, and you would pull out your notebook and start taking notes. So
I would say we should at least just bind the child's soul to the lighthouse.
There's no guarantee that there is actually need the sacrifice of a child. I was semi-joking, but...
Well, you'll find that lots of times a GM will know you're joking, but think it's more fun to make you stick to what you said. I had at one point in another game, someone said it was like this moment when they needed to be very, very diplomatic, and they made the joke, "I draw my sword," and that's what he did. So anyway, all right. So while you can't see the coast, the island is not so big. Oh, that would be the crash. Sometimes the context matters. While you can't see the coast, the island is not so big, not big, that you can't hear it. The distant waves crash. The area in this area you hear is sort of the calming or clamming in this one sound of birds and wind through the trees. There's a steady thin wall of mist creeping across the area, not so thick to obscure anything scary, but not so thin as to give you comfort. There seems to be much less fog than along the coast. You continually feel as if you're being watched or followed or tracked. P. I don't mean P, I guess P. So here you are.
And can we roll some kind of, would it be perception to figure out why we feel like we're being tracked?
Yeah, roll a perception check. So perception.
Go with Tyros's.
All right, Tyros. So, you see around you, you hear the sound of birds. You hear you see trees. You see nature. But also, you see... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Hold on, I just pushed a button that's locked up my computer. One moment. One more moment. I've got a whirling blue ring of death. The Windows equivalent of a beach ball. What the heck, man? It's working on it. There it is. Okay, good. Clear. And it threw a bunch of errors. So, right ahead of you, it's not made a move yet. Hold on. Which one is it? The problem when you don't give things names. Because you guys always wondered why I have things as silly names. It's because otherwise they're all named the same thing in the combat tracker. So right ahead of you, like right in front of you, like 10 feet away, not moving, is this strange creature that at first glance looked like a bush or a twig of some sort. But as you stare a little bit more closely, it's not a twig. It's a twig blight. And you just sort of, from lore, you know that a twig blight is really an interesting creature. Basically, it's an awakened plant that's gifted with the power of intelligence and mobility. And that's all I'll let you know without a nature roll.
Give a nature roll?
And if you share this, then the other two people can also roll nature.
Not a good.
Are you sharing it, Tyros?
Yes. Sorry, yes. There appears to be a moving or a bush that seems to be alive.
All right,
I don't
so
know anything about this.
Oh God.
Well,
that's favorite kind of bush.
That's cool because both Stephanos and Alexander are like, oh yeah, twig blights. These are sort of intelligent and mobile plants, right? Stephanos is like, legends tell of a vampire named Goliath, who worked terrible magic and raised up an abominable tower called a Nightfang Spire, right? This was all undone when a hero plunged a wooden stake through his heart. But as the vampire was destroyed, his blood infused the stake with dreadful power, right? And in time, tendrils of new growth sprouted from this wood, growing into a sapling infused with the vampire's evil essence. It is said that a mad druid discovered the sapling, transplanting it into an underground grotto where it could continue to grow. And from this came the first twig blights. There's several kinds, right? Some are nothing more than a little shrub, and some are more powerful. With that roll, you can tell that this twig blight is but a little shrub, probably a one-hit kill. You know that these things can root in soil. You know that they can also move around. At this point, this twig blight, you have noticed it, but it hasn't made a move yet, right? Now, one of the things that you know about this, this twig blight, it's typically indistinguishable from a dead shrub. But because it's such a vibrant coastal area, and typically these things are found in sort of like darker, more foreboding forests, it's, you're thinking to yourself like, well, why would they be on this island? What sort of dark magic has brought them here? But you also know that their primary, attack is largely just melee. right? They have basically these claw limbs that will reach out and strike. So that's what you know. You have advantage right now. You can leave without incident, or if you want to press forward and just like one hit kill this thing, go for it.
Are they inherently evil?
They are inherently evil, right? Unless they've been, unless there are rumors of a druid who, a good druid, who keeps twig blights as pets, but alas, that is not in this area.
Be careful where there's a baby twig blight. There might be a mommy twig blight. You never know. Although I'm not near you guys.
You're not. I was gonna say like you can't say diddly or squat. So no diddly squat. All right, team. There's 3 of you.
Well, what's the thought? Should we try and, or it hasn't noticed us? Can I ask a few more questions about twig blights?
You can ask a few more questions. I'll give you 3 questions, and then I'll need an answer. Otherwise, the twig blight will notice you because you guys are literally standing.
Can we befriend it? Is that an option?
Unlikely.
How quickly do they move? Can we skirt around it and continue on our way?
So you ask that to Stefanos, and Stefanos tells you they're not super fast. They can move 20 feet per turn.
All right, do you want to just walk around it? Let's try to avoid it, and if it comes down to it, we'll fight.
Yeah. Although
Right.
if they're inherently evil, should we just not rid the forest of these?
You asking me? I mean,
No,
what's
I'm
to
asking
good,
my crew.
evil? These are all constructs. What? I think from the twig blight's perspective, we're the evil ones.
All right, so move. Make your move.
Really
where
makes you think, huh?
Make your move where you want to move. If you're moving forward, if you're
I'm
leaving,
fine to walk around him.
So when you say walk around,
let's
just make your David. So your marching order is going to be what?
Yep. We are heading north. I'm assuming, correct?
Okay.
That's away from the coast.
All right. So let me get you into an actual grid. You move there, and you move there. All right. So, as you guys move into that area, this is going to be hard. Unlock some of the forest for you so you can see. There we go. The entire area lights up.
God damn it. Okay.
So a pertinent question might have
You have
been...
the worst luck.
Oh, I'm not done. I'm still clicking stuff.
My God.
Oh,
Do they have any weaknesses?
You would know that. So, their weaknesses is unless they're, like a normal twig blight is pretty much like a twig blight. But you also know that there are other things. There's needle blights and vine blights, who are a little bit tougher. So as you can see, you're now in combat. You've walked into a nest of twig blights. Literally off to your left, you are within striking range, Alexandria. So this twig blight is going to have an attack. I'm sorry. Who is that? Alexandria, or is that? Yeah,
That's
Alexandria.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, Alexandria. You're he gets advantage attack on you, and you are now in combat. So I need everyone to roll for initiative.
All of us, or just those on this map?
Just those on this map.
Oops. Sorry.
Great roll, Glory. I wish you were here.
All right.
Yeah.
So, so Glory rolled. Hold on. I gotta remove that so she doesn't show up in the queue. So your initiative is none.
Sorry about that. I got confused.
It's okay. I'm going to pop over to you guys in just a second. So we're going to let this Twig Blight attack Alexandria, and then we're going to toggle over to another story real quick. So the only one within range is Alexandria. It is a hit. And Alexandria, like, as soon as you set foot, you feel this limb sort of like whack you pretty hard. But it was almost laughable, right? It was just like you got a little scratch. All right?
Take it back. They're evil. You were right, Tyros.
Yeah, they are evil. So let's head back to the East Tower, where our program is already... Actually, no, we're going to head to the West Tower, where we have Tempe. All right, Tempe. So anyone who wants to follow along visually, open up your West Tower map. It should be one of the many maps you have opened.
Excellent. After I was shocked last week, did I roll an Arcana check to see what sort of magic may be protecting this area?
I don't recall. Did you guys? Did you, Tyros? I don't think so.
No, I don't remember rolling an Arcana. Yeah. I just knew that it is magic protected, so I felt I didn't need to roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to roll an Arcana check then.
Roll an Arcana check.
Done. See what I get. Not bad.
Ah. There you go. So you see that there's this giant stone. It's about 10 feet on the side. It's emanating a lot of magic. So much magic that you're not convinced it's a real slab. I mean, it felt real, but that shock has you really questioning if it comes from the physical world. You also notice a bunch of glyphs, and you know that these glyphs have something to do. There's some sort of component to some sort of a ritual that allows something in plain sight to remain unseen. However, the glyphs, as you can see if you zoom in, they're worn off, and they in and of themselves no longer function. Right? But they probably manifested the slab, but controlling the slab is a different story. And I believe, Tyros, you put your hand on the hand imprint because that's something that you investigated and noticed.
That's right, yes.
Right, so you know this thing is magic. You know that it obscures something, so there's something probably beneath it, and that your sort of Arcana, it's a good 19, tells you that putting your hand there potentially is part of this puzzle for opening this slab. But of course, your sort of passive intelligence tells you, do you really want to open this without the rest of your party?
Yep.
I mean, would you run into a forest full of twig blights?
No. Although,
right.
I don't know. I'm glad the healer's there with them.
And incidentally, none of the rest of you know that they're fighting. Just so you know, like there's you don't have that knowledge in this game.
Yep. Okay. One more thing I'd like to investigate are these sarcophagi. I think there's 3 in this room.
You did that last.
In the north.
You did that last time. You opened them up, and there's nothing but remnants and nothing of interest.
Okay, so there's no more skulls, I would say, in them. They can't move.
Nothing. Yeah, these things do not look like they can be reanimated.
Okay. Okay, I think I need to bring the group back up here. So, I'm in a tower. Do I go?
Well, you could either go
to second floor. I don't see any stairs.
No, this is it. This is it.
Okay.
You know that your party. You know that your party is part of your party was along the coast. The last you knew, you don't know they went inland, so you'd have to go to the coast to go find them and just discover them. You know, having went to the inland part. You know that Dinjarin and Glory headed to the East Tower. You're in the West Tower. They headed to the East Tower, and you know that that Stephanos, the last you knew, she was going to head to the lighthouse to see what was going on with that. So I think your reasonable choices would either be the East Tower or the lighthouse.
Yes. I also know that I poisoned the stew, so I want to go see if any of the Black Guard has eaten any of the stew, to see if they have.
One of the things
been
that became
dosed by my
obvious.
truth serum.
Yeah, I think one of the things that has become obvious is like there has been no sign of any Black Guard.
Ah.
So worth noting is that the Black Guard seem to be missing. Right, you've now just that's sort of a known thing.
And I also see a closed door. Have I tried to open that yet?
Where do you see a closed door?
By the sarcophagus in the northeast corner.
Northeast corner.
It's highlighting yellow when I hover over it.
Oh, those are windows.
Oh, okay. Windows.
Yeah.
All right.
Yellow.
I will head to the east tower.
East tower it is. So I will unload this tower
between
for now.
my two options. Yep.
And then grab you, Tempe, and you're going to be pulled into the east tower. So you pop in and you walk in the door, and off to your right you see Dinjarin and Glory staring down into this trap door in the floor.
Ahoy, hoy!
Dude,
what's
come
going on,
check
guys?
this out. We found stairs. They go down.
Nice.
And,
I found an electrified
Dinjarin?
rope.
Darn can't lift shit for nothing because he made all this noise. So
I don't think I was the only one. I mean,
well,
anyways,
if you put all the weight on me, yeah, I'm not gonna.
I think we should go down.
No one followed, so I don't think your noise drew the attention of anyone else.
All right. Oh, and we heard some weird knocking.
Yeah, we did hear some weird knocking. Oh, and there's somebody that drew something on the ground and pointed us to go in here. So somebody wants us to go in here. I don't know.
Was it a hand? Was it a drawing of a hand or a drawing of an arrow?
Well, look down.
I believe
here
it was an
and
arrow.
You can see just an arrow, like a little arrow pointing. Right. So could be a trap.
So just as a reminder, the last thing that you guys heard was, as the hatch swings open, you see stone stairs descending into darkness. The air rising from the opening smells fresh and clean. You think you pick up the smell of incense, lavender, sage, ? And then we ended. So do you guys want to go down?
All right. Yeah, Dinjarin, lead the way.
Before I go down, I want to send using my cantrip dancing lights to send it down the stairs just to see if we could illuminate and see anything down there.
Okay.
Good call.
Let me...
I have a range of 120 feet, by the way.
Awesome. So let me load the map. Actually, I'm not going to load the map until we do this. So, as your dancing lights, is that a cantrip, right? You can use it as much as you want?
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Yeah. So, your dancing lights sort of illuminates that bottom area, and it looks like it's about a half circle with nothing in it. And on sort of the west side is a door that's closed. So it's like basically a little empty atrium with a closed door.
Can I do I want to know... never mind. Sorry.
Okay. Are you guys heading in
or not?
I kind of
nudged Dinjarin. I nudged Dinjarin and said, all right, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go down.
Dude,
I don't see anything possibly that could happen that could go wrong.
What could go wrong?
Go first. After you.
Okay, give me 1 second. I need to delete this token. I made a mistake. 1 second.
It's not like we've run into anything that seems inherently evil so far. So, yeah, we've had some mysterious invisible force point us to this hatch, but I don't think... I see Chob every once in a while.
So, yeah, Dinjarin, you think to yourself, what could go wrong? All right, there we go. I just needed to...
By the way, your video is just spinning, Thomas. We can't see you anymore.
What?
Yeah. You just look really unimpressed with us. Like, really... Like, really?
And now you're just cussing out at us.
How about now? Is that better?
I'm wondering if we should like ready ourselves in some way. Like, I think that our problem isn't going to be immediately in this little circle. I think it's going to be beyond the door. So I'm gonna, once we get down there, I'm gonna want to do like see if I hear anything or anything like that. But I wonder if we should ready ourselves in some way. Maybe we could ready it later.
Yeah, you know what? I'm always ready.
We can take that action right now, right? Just ready.
Yeah, you can come down.
Yeah.
I'll allow that. Dinjarin and Glory.
They're ready.
Wait, where did I
Hyper
go?
aware.
Yeah,
and I'm sharing the record with you guys now. So you should just
click ready. Nothing happened. Glory's ready.
It's just a verbal anyway. Although it's nice to have it on record. So like, I said I was ready. No, you didn't. Like, that's just.
I'm ready. I'm ready for anything.
So all you should really be able to see now is this atrium, correct?
I see a
Still
big
loading,
question mark.
I see half of a question mark. So you're further
Something
along
is
than me.
closed.
Yeah,
possibly a door or a window.
So tell me when you guys are in the map, but I'll give you your narrative right now. All right. So as you climb down the stairs, the scents get stronger. Green light peeks from beneath the door at the bottom of the stairs. Other than the door on the west wall, the stairs terminate at a semi-round room, which is something you already knew. And go ahead and roll a perception check while this map loads.
Sure.
Just the three of you.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just keep getting the spinning ball. So
of doom. It might be because your map's not loaded yet.
Yeah.
Decent.
Ooh, 22.
Ooh.
All right, so
nat 20 too.
So from where you stand, like your keen sense of hearing and sight, you see this green light emanating from under the door, but you don't hear anything. You don't hear any breathing. You don't hear any shuffling. It doesn't sound like there's anything alive down in this room. It doesn't sound like there's anything undead down in this room. It doesn't sound like there's any creature with any sort of corporeal form down in this room. It's a comfortable temperature, right? It's cool but not cold. It's warm but not hot. And again, you're the scent sort of it smells clean. It smells like this area is well taken care of, right? And sort of your perception tells you that this is probably this isn't something the servants are taking care of. Like, this is someone else is taking care of this area. Someone else is this is important to somebody. And there you go. That's your perception. Now let me know if you want to proceed.
I want to check the door.
I want to check the door and see if there's like a keyhole that we might be able to peer into or put our ear against to hear anything.
Yeah,
I also want to check it for traps too.
Yeah,
just I've had bad luck with booby traps, and I just want to make sure I don't get locked into a cave or cavern again.
So roll an investigation check, both of you.
Oh, of course. It's my low.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't sense any traps, and it appears that this door is unlocked.
But I can't see into it or anything.
No, you cannot see into it. You'd have to open
it. Can I use my detect magic?
You can, but hold on. Tempe said he's going to Leroy Jenkins it, so he opens the door up.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
And moves right on in.
Leroy Jenkins.
So, opening the door reveals some sort of a foyer leading into a second area off to the north. The glow of candles in green glass. I'm sorry. The glow of candles in green glass candle holders light the room from various locations. Ominous skeletal statues line the walls as if guarding the room.
Great.
Tables, benches, and bookshelves seem to be well maintained and organized. The tile work looks as if it's being repaired and replaced with a good deal of care. So someone really, really seems to care about this. Even the occasional piles of bones seem purposeful. So you guys are now in the room, and like it's like someone's restoring this area.
There's
Yeah.
a table next to me. I want to kind of do like a little review of the area and see if there's anything that catches my attention, something that might have some knowledge or information that I might find interesting.
Okay, so why don't the three of you roll an investigation check? We'll just knock that out.
Ooh. Come on, Dinjard.
I have a -2 on this, though.
Yeah, so, what you're seeing here are, little baubles and vials, and there's nothing, that's a pretty bad investigation. You don't find anything spectacular. Nothing really is of interest, right? And nothing valuable, right? As a matter of fact, across the way, just passively, you see, like, the main table, the sitting table is empty. Let's see, who got the highest? A 9 glory. Even though your perception wasn't particularly good, it doesn't look like these skeletons can be reanimated. It looks like they're just statues, almost decorative.
I want to check out this thing. Is this a coffin?
That's a table.
Can I look around to see if there's like any trap doors or anything that could go lower? Like, is there any other way out of this room other than the door we came in? Like, can I see if there's anything like that?
No, passively, even with the crappy investigation check, there's, that this continues around to the right, and it's sort of it seems to be a circular room. But yeah, there's no doors. The carpet's solid. It's on stone. There's no other. There's only one way in or out, and there's no windows. You're clearly underground. All right. So then Gloria moves over here. So what you see, go ahead and make your next moves, guys, and then I'll read the narrative. And Tempe, it's up to you if you're moving. Okay. Sort of a beautiful gray statue of a one-handed blind god stands at the one end of the room. A small stone altar with an old-looking brass scale at its feet stands on the other, or stands at its feet. In the center of the room is an altar with a beautiful cloth carefully laid upon it. The care that went into this area is just obvious. 2 dusty bookcases on both sides of the altar along the curved wall are filled with books and scrolls, mostly on law, history, and philosophy. Off to the east, you see a door.
Okay. I want to be careful around the altar. So I want to kind of look upon the altar and see if I can see anything that might give me some insight into who this god is, what kind of what kind of offerings does he or maybe I can look up across the books to see if I can learn a little bit more about this god.
Roll an intelligence. Roll a religion check. You want about a 15.
Okay.
And while she's doing that, I want to just go up and put something on the scales, or at least push down on the scale, because I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah. So you with that roll, you aren't really able to identify much.
What is this?
What's that? Oh, yeah. You're not available. You can't identify too much. All you know is there's some notes on the altar and some sort of like a chalice that's probably just used for whatever ritual happened here. But that's about all that you can figure out. Dinjaran, you push on the scale, and it wobbles a bit and then balances back out, as if because justice is balanced.
If there is any, I know that I have a low score, but if there are any, if I can notice any sort of imagery or sayings, or can I just jot them down? I may not understand them, I may not know what I'm looking for, but kind of just a generic, oh, I saw that there was
D&D equivalent of a screenshot.
Yeah, You can do that, but collectively, it looks like just gibberish with that 8. And you have 2 other people that could potentially roll a religion check if they want to see if they know anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go straight to the door.
Yeah, I don't really care. I'm gonna go to the door, but I want to go around. Go around the circle. Go around the circle. Oh.
Yeah.
Too late.
Go around the.
Yeah. All right.
I just go. Sorry, guys.
Well, Tempe did just blare into the room, so he can't judge too.
Yeah, usually that's my job.
Let me get you guys off each other just for when the battle comes. No, I'm just kidding.
Great.
So Dinjarin and Tempe, as you walk through, because you're fully in right now, right? And Glory was like, "Hey, this seems religious, right? And with intent." Did you guys, what do you guys think? And you guys weren't deep enough in the room, and you guys are just basically like middle fingered her and said like, "The hell with it, I don't care." Do you have?
You guys gotta be so rude.
Now that you see that this is more of a shrine, if you want to reconsider that, or Gloria, if you would like to convince them to, think about it, I'll give you a second to do so.
Well, I mean, they already disrespected it, but I think it would be really cool if you guys would just help me out a little bit and maybe throw a religion throw so I can maybe get some more knowledge that if something happens, we may call upon this deity to help us, or to get some more information to kill other things.
So, Gloria, as you're debating them, you see the scale at the foot of the statue just starts to sort of rock back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then just stops.
Cool. So
all right,
it can sense what you touch.
I know nothing of the gods, but I'll roll a religion check.
Did it stop even, or was it off kiltered one way or the other?
It stopped even. All right, Tempe rolled an 18. You want to try and beat? Are you rolling Dinjarin, or are you deferring to Tempe? I don't care either way.
I'm going to defer to Tempe. I have a -2, so I'm not going to get a good. Even at my highest, it would be equal.
All right, so Tempe, you take a look at the statue and this this scale, and your brain goes, oh, wait a minute, this seems related to the god Tyr, right? And you knew that Tyr is a god of law and justice, right? The punishment of wrongdoers is the primary tenet of its faith, along with furthering law and goodness in the world, right? When you're learning all of this, like the hairs on the back of your neck sort of stand up and sort of make you tingle with like, wow, there's such goodness here. There's such justice here. And, as your backs are all, to the door and towards the altar, the door behind Tempe and Darn slowly starts to swing open. And let's see if there's anything else.
Bad time to have a chaotic evil character with you guys. Sorry.
Right. So basically, anyone who follows Tyr or worships Tyr, they're driven by justice and bringing goodness to the world and punishing the wrongdoers. Now, passively, Glory, you remember that as you were sort of ransacking an office and stealing things, like stuff started to shake. Right? Or was it Alexandria that did it? I can't remember. You were with her.
Alexandria stole.
Yeah, and Alexandria, you can't even talk.
I simply.
Yeah.
So, but you borrowed information.
Yeah, well, borrowing, stealing. Yeah. So but it did sort of like, I think, some chest slam shut. So now you're connecting like justice. There's something is guiding you, and they're probably wired for justice as well, right? Because anytime you did anything nefarious or anyone did anything nefarious, there was some sort of a shame on you consequence. All right, so that's where you are. So just from where you guys are standing, as you stand admiring the altar and statue, the door on the east wall makes a bit of a noise, drawing your attention. You hear a lock unlock, and the doorknob gently turn, and ever so slowly the door swings open to reveal a study of some sort. Right? A beautiful reading desk of wood fills the center of the room. It's a system of organized chaos, scrolls, notes, parchments, and quills. It fills its top. It looks both frantic and organized, somehow at the same time. While clearly a study, the room seems to do dual service for both study and slumber. Perhaps this is where Egan would disappear from time to time. Remember, he would be gone for days at a time.
I'm just gonna walk right in.
All right.
Yep.
Walk in.
See what's in there.
I'm gonna stand
Job?
at the door looking in.
Move into place.
Chest.
Job, are you here, Job?
And you hear nothing from Chop. All right, I'll stop you guys moving around and let's see what's happening. So you're in here. You see a seating area. You see a bed. It looks like the bed has been used, but not probably in the last couple of days. There's a couple of chests that line the wall. Right, there's candles and reading materials. It really looks like someone here is honestly, Gloria. They're on a search for knowledge. Probably something to do with cheer. The evidence of this room suggests that this is someplace that Egon spent a lot of time. And also with the care and detail that went into the shrine and into the area, and sort of the secrecy, it seems that he might be on this path for good and justice, so wired for goodness. So while there were rumors that he was looking for treasure, it doesn't appear that he'd be the kind of person that would actually steal.
I'm seeing a lot of skulls all over this place. Are you guys noticing that too? What's up with all these skulls?
Well, your passive knowledge of religion knows that skulls and death are just a normal part of most religions.
I found that book on cults. Can I look in that book and see if there's anything on tier in there? I know.
Yeah.
Based off of what?
Roll an investigation check. And I'm going to give you guys. We're gonna wind out this room, and then we're gonna head back over to the blight attack, already in progress. Yeah. So
no, I can't.
So you can't even figure out how to get the book open, right? You keep trying to. You keep trying to open the wrong side, and you're like, "This is sealed shut." You think this is a mystery I will solve another day. So why don't you guys roll? Gloria, are you sticking outside?
I think I'll go in.
All right. So move into where you want to be. All right. And then the three of you, if you guys can roll an investigation check, and it doesn't have to. This is like beat a 5, basically.
Yeah, I want to see what these chests are all about.
I want to see these.
I just barely beat a 5.
Yeah. All right. So this is Egan's desk. You identified that, and on this desk you see a journal. It's the Journal of Egan. In this journal, it seems like a collection of thoughts and notes more than an actual journal. The handwriting's decent though. A page of interest is this.
Ooh. Question mark. Meaning of life.
So you guys should, any second now, you should have an image show up.
Yeah. What we know. Under...
Anyone who knows me knows that this is my handwriting, and it was perfect for this because it was almost legible.
Can't zoom in.
Taking an actual screenshot.
You can zoom in and out with your with a wheel on your mouse, or you can pinch and zoom. There's also a toolbar. If you open the toolbar, there's a zoom button you can click.
There it is.
Review the book of Mancia Cults. Is that the one you can't read, Dinjarin?
Yeah.
Of Moonsea Cults.
Give it to me, Dinjarin, and I'll read it.
Moonsea Cults.
Yeah, I'll quickly give her the book. Let me see if I can actually do this. I just drag it over to her character sheet, right?
So the password seems to be known. It says password unknown, but it's crossed out.
Did you get that, Glory?
What's it called?
Moonsea Cults by Thalios of Tyr.
Yeah. Wait for Grim. Digging without soldiers is too dangerous. Where are they digging? No digging until shore. Someone would kill me.
Thomas, it's not letting me drag it over to her.
Look, this is that. I recognize the 4 square thing in the bottom. I was there. I put my hand in the corner. Just circled.
4 symbols, 3 words. Get right. Hand toe mono to wait for Grim. Dig in. Okay.
Mono dicustus demonis.
So what you sort of suss out from this journal?
Can we steal this?
Can you what?
Let's just take this with us to that upper room in the West Tower.
Anytime you want this, you will have access to this.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sweet. So this is his journal. And can you guys roll an intelligence check, right? And all you have to do is beat a 10. Yeah, 50-50.
Is that under main?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my worst thing.
Clearly.
No.
Is it ability?
What? Yeah, it's the 4th one down on ability. Yeah, 4th one down.
Oh, mild.
We both are like,
All right.
Glory, of course.
So Glory,
blazing the path.
So Glory grabs this journal and this Moonsea cult book and like sort of settles in on the couch, and you guys sort of gather around here like like a father or a parent, I should say. Let's be gender neutral. A parent reading the night before Christmas, on Christmas Eve. So you guys are sort of huddled around, and you guys are there for about 2 hours, and she's leaping through pages and she's looking at things. And what she's pieced together is that, Egan, as a child, lived here, right? So he started sort of this search for all this stuff on a whim, and that's how he discovered what used to be this shrine, and he's restored it, right? And he got really fascinated by Tyr. He didn't really take this search for the treasure and whatever else serious until he really met Grim, and they started spending time together. He got really serious about things when a book about Tyr literally fell into his lap, right? And Glory sort of pieces together that whoever's been guiding you, the spirit that's been guiding you, probably made this happen, right? Towards the end of the journal, whatever pretense of scholarly research devolves into sort of the rambling of an obsessed man. So over time, he's become sort of pseudo obsessed with all of this. What did you get? You got a 16? All right. Because you have the Book of Moonsea Cults from his quarters, you locate on page 78 of this a passage that's referencing an ancient cult that worshipped an entity referred to as Just One and the Great One. The rest of the page depicts some of the cult symbols and secret signals and prayers, all of which are Thoras. It's a long forgotten tongue, and you can't make sense of them. And really, this last part of the journal identifies is like really where the meat is, right? And you already sort of said this, Glory, but like you realize that like, the hand plus the password probably unlocks that slab that Tempe had talked about, right? So like this thing is starting to unfold itself. Sadly, for the 3 people at the Blight fight, they know none of this awesomeness, right? Like they're having their own adventure. This book, none of this tells where to look for this passageway or this entry, but it does give a clue as to how to open it. And then that's when Tempe, sort of reveals, oh my God, I've seen this. Right, it's in the West Tower.
West side.
You said something about a hand. Where's this? Can I?
Yeah,
do I know anything based on the journal?
Yeah, if you look at that, if you look at that drawing of a slab, there's a hand circled.
But we don't know where the hand is, like the missing hand from the statue.
Tempe does. Tempe knows.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, because Tempe touched it and got the shit shocked out of him.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Should we try to go get the others and kind of tell them, and we all convene back at the West Tower now that we kind of know that's probably where we need to go?
Sure. They couldn't have found any trouble. Let's go see if we can find them. All
right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave. You guys will have access to this document anytime you want. If you pull open your notes, I think you can drag that little chain link and it'll let you access this whenever you want. So let me close that.
I already closed it. Glory, do you still have it open?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, drag it into your thingy.
Unshare. I'm
I don't see
unsharing
how
this.
I can drag it.
Um,
Maybe I can drag it into my inventory.
You drag it to your notes.
But it didn't work when I did that.
Try inventory then, I guess.
Yeah.
all right, give me
Adventure
1 second.
notes.
All right, so winding things out, getting the band back together. You guys head down the coast, which is the last place that you knew that these guys were heading. So you're now on the coast. As you know, Thorn Island is a blend of harsh coastal cliffs and beautiful sandy beaches. Right, the mist makes it tough to see clearly. However, your footing is solid enough, giving you a slight path in which you find yourself. To the north is the inner island, and to the south are the cliffs meeting the sea. Right, you can't make out below without getting a little bit closer. This should sound familiar to some of you, but you do see footprints from your colleagues, sort of heading off towards a ladder. Now, this is where you kind of have to play a little dumb because you know they aren't here. So I'm going to have you roll an investigation check if your intent is to find them. So just roll an investigation check. Good. Can anyone beat it? Oh, yeah. -2, but good.
Sorry, hold on. I spent my time trying.
And nothing.
I don't really care.
So good enough. So Dinjarin and Tempe, you see some footprints heading towards the ladder in the middle of the screen. Just a normal gait. But then you also see a spattering of more frantic footprints. Looks like someone came up the ladder and was running north, away from the coast. Over the edge, you see what looks like the entrance, like 3 entrances to something, right? Interesting enough. But if your intent is to follow your friends, the footprints head north. Interestingly, at first you see 2 sets of footprints, but then you see some shoes and look like bird feet. But at some point, it just becomes a single set of footprints. There you go. What will you do? I don't care.
What do you guys think? Should we go?
Well, you think about it because we're going to go to the other group already in progress just for a second, because they have they're surrounded by blights. So you've rolled for initiative, and we're going to start battle. I believe the first one up is Alexandria. So we'll do one quick round. And then we'll go back and the other party, if they decide to join you, will be able to join you.
All right.
There's a twig blight literally to your left. If you move, it will have
yeah,
a
I'm just going to attack that one.
You hit.
All right, wow.
And now you are able to move.
That's it, I guess.
Well, you're able to move if you want.
All right. I guess I'll head towards this one.
All right. Someone's going to clean some house, it seems. Right. End your turn.
Hey, they crossed me. Wait, sorry, I'm looking for the combat tracker. Haha.
All right. So this twig blight, smells the blood and sees the action, and moves his 20 to there. Ends his turn. Moves his 20. Ends his turn. Tyros.
Yes. Well, I am going to take a run at this twig blight.
Okay.
And I pull out my rapier and have my dagger ready as well for a 2-weaponed attack.
Okay. Jesus. You are maxed up. You weren't hurt,
Not
but
like him at all.
yeah, you weren't hurt, but all right, let's see what you can do with this crit. It's dead. And if you have any movement left, you're welcome to take it.
I have 5, so I'm gonna head up this way.
So you guys are starting to feel like pretty badass, right? You're just like one hit killing things. It's like a Tarantino film when the hero is like sort of has their moment. All right, next person comes down. Tries to identify the closest target. Heads here. Can't get within range of anyone. Ends turn. Heads here. Yes, this is a massive battle. Lots of fun for your DM trying to figure all this out. Attacks. And misses. Ends turn. This twig blight is over here. He's got a hell of a journey ahead of him. Ah. 20. So there, everyone is just, you guys see all these twig blights like converging on you. All right. Right on top of you. And then attacks. Tyros. And flippin' misses. Next up, Twig Blight. Imagine that. Can you guys believe it? It's a Twig Blight's turn. Makes its way towards you. Next up. Oh, you wouldn't believe this. A Twig Blight. Converging on everybody. Next up. A Twig Blight. Nothing. This next Twig Blight's turn. Now, you guys start seeing the number of Twig Blights sort of making their way towards you. And while, you know, they don't seem to do a lot of damage, or don't seem to, they can't take a lot of damage, they do have numbers. So your strategy brain starts kicking in and thinking like maybe we need to be very thoughtful about how we proceed. Out of the clearing, you see something that looks a little different than the regular Twig Blights. This one seems a little larger, a little more badass. Your nature check tells you this is a Needle Blight. And where's the there we go. Similarly, you see another one coming sort of through the clearing, a little different. This one looks like slightly different than the Needle Blight. This is a Vine Blight Ivy. So it looks like you've got some pawns, as well as maybe a couple of rooks and maybe a bishop coming toward you.
Question for the DM. Can Needle Blight climb?
Yes. Dinjarin, you are not playing yet. Glory, you're not playing yet. Stephanos is not playing yet. Oh wait, Stephanos is playing, but you didn't roll initiative, Stephanos. So I need you to roll initiative, or I can do it for you if you want.
She did roll.
It didn't register. Oh, you're rolling intelligence. You need to roll initiative. INIT. That's what it was. But I think just don't bother rolling. I'm just going to give you the one since you're at the end here anyway. It's your turn. So you'll just be the last one to go. It doesn't matter. At the end of this turn, we re-roll anyway. Stefanos, go ahead and make your move or your attack or whatever you're going to do. And I can't hear you if you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, do you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
I'm going to apply Bless to all three of us here.
All right.
And myself.
Nice.
Nice.
Are you moving? Or are you staying where you are?
I'm just a little bit back here.
Makes sense for a healer.
Thank you, Stefanos.
You still have another 20 feet if you want to move farther back. It's up to you.
Maybe just a little further back, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, you're probably within range if someone wanted to go after you, but there's enough other interference. So the other three of you, are you heading inland or are you heading back to the keep? What are you guys doing? Are you following their tracks or are you heading back?
Was it obvious that the tracks went inland? Like
Yeah.
the latest tracks were going inland?
Your investigation,
I say because that's... Okay, I say because that's... We were trying to find them, so we should move inland then.
So Stefanos,
as long as it was obvious.
You're sort of... it was obvious. That's why I had you roll an... It might have not have been if you hadn't rolled a good investigation check. Or good enough. So the three of you, you guys pop out of the forest and are met with like, holy shit, like there's some sort of like,
what is this?
Epic battle happening here. But you already see bodies laid out, and your colleagues here don't look too worried. Stefanos feels a lot more reassured now, right? As the healer, it's nice to see some backup coming.
I don't see anything.
Who doesn't see anything?
The glory.
Did you not have this?
Blinded.
Wait, so you
click
don't...
on your character.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I see it.
Do all these blights have cover that are in the trees?
No, they don't. It's these trees are high enough up that they're.
And blights, from what I remember, blights look like dead, shriveled bushes amongst all of this greenery and foliage that's alive.
Yeah.
They're quite ugly.
Yeah. So Tyros yells back, good to see you, and like we've stumbled into a nest of blights. We've got these simple. Some of these blights are pretty simple, one-hit kills. A couple more of them look formidable, but we've not tangled with them yet. No pun intended. Vine blight, tangled. Get it? Anyway, I need the three of you to roll initiative.
Yep.
Actually, I need all of you to roll initiative, because this is the end of this round. I will roll initiative for the next group.
Just an FYI, you guys, I do have the ability to do a scorching ray or a fireball. So, just in case we want to go, with that sound specifically.
Yeah.
All right. So is everybody still on the tracker? I didn't delete anyone accidentally, right?
Yeah.
All right. Massive. All right. We're going to the top of the next round. Everyone has rolled, right? All right. Start the round. Oh, I'm going to go to Tempe. Sorry. There it is. Alexandria. There we go. All right. Now you have all your new... Well, you guys are top level, or top heavy. Except for Stefanos, who's at the end there. That's okay. All right. So this is the top of the round. As you guys remember, combat works a little differently now. This should be old hat, but just a quick reminder. At the top of the round, establish your strategy. We'll play the round. When it's your turn, you do not have 15 minutes to decide and think about things and whatever else. You have just a quick, do I see a perception or whatever, and then a pretty quick move. So your turn should take less than 20 seconds, each of you. So know what you're going to do. But at the top of the round, collectively, you guys have sort of the shouting strategies in play. So I'll give you guys a few seconds, or like 30 to a minute, if you guys want to discuss how you're going to handle the situation.
All right, I'm gonna do lightning arrows, so I'll start picking off the ones furthest away, and I'll try and flank them. So I'm gonna move over to the right.
All right, that's what he's going to do. Anyone else?
My strategy is let's kill them all.
Yeah.
Simple. Go.
All right.
Maybe get out of my way so I don't fireball you. That's my suggestion.
Yeah. Don't bunch up.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and I have
all right.
Weapons that are not good for bunching.
So if that's your strategy, why don't we go ahead and Alexandria, you're up.
Ignore my...
All right, I'm gonna move over here 5 meters, and then I'm gonna, because I have 2 attacks, I'm gonna try to take out both of you since they're both in melee range. Nope. Okay, well, rip.
Hold on one second.
Alright, that one's dead. Then I'll spend a key point to do 2 unarmed attacks on the other one. Cool.
Are you enjoying this, you guys? Because I'm not. This is supposed to be harder.
You mentioned that they all have numbers. I'm not seeing numbers anywhere.
What do you mean numbers?
I thought you said they had numbers.
Oh no, they have number of people, right? So while there's a lot of them, even though some of them aren't very strong. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Tempe, you're up. Awesome. So Tempe is like,
and then,
being a ranger, doesn't want to be flanked.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna lightning arrow myself.
Ooh, that sounds hard. And a fumble.
That's my action. So.
Oh, okay. So, and a fumble, by the way, anyone using fire or whatever else in a wooded area with wooded things, a fumble means there's a risk of starting the forest on fire. Just so you know. All right, end your turn, and then it's Jinjarin.
All right. I'm going to move up next to this guy.
What are you doing? Are you serious?
I got nowhere else to
what
go.
Part of, are you kidding me right now? As you walk by me, I express, pure, are you really that stupid?
And I just say...
Are you kidding me?
And I'm going to attack this guy.
And you know, Glory is your leader, just so you know.
Hey, oh my god. This is your, you know what? You put yourself in
I gotta have some fun. And given that I only move 20 feet,
son of a gun,
I can move 15 more feet this way.
Okay.
And that's it for my turn.
And you good news is you were just out of melee reach for the twig blight that could have opportunityed you. Interesting play. This brings us to Vine Blight Sumac.
There are so many other options you had.
This is Dinjarin, though. Okay, the plan is that we stay back here. Okay, got it. Attack.
I'm really trying to figure out why I can't get my... So I'll just move 5, 10, 15. And then 20. All right. So Alexandria, you see this blight is a little different than the others. It's going to hit you with a... Let me see which one I'm going to do here. Give me 1 second. I got to pull up this guy's card. All right. So this thing gets right up on you, and this thing's a vine blight, right? So it's going to hit you with one of its vines. And it sees that you're a winged creature. Unfortunately, nothing works out for this one. So its turn is now ended. Tyros.
Yes. Eating Glory's advice, I move.
If you move, the blight to your upper right gets an opportunity attack.
Right, sorry. Yes, he does, doesn't he? Well, I will smite him with my rapier.
Smite away. And that's the last warning I'm going to give you guys about opportunity attacks. You guys all know now. And if you move, I will let you and then just attack you from there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will start with my rapier, and if it doesn't land, I'm going to use my 2-weapon attack and use my dagger.
Well, I'd say that landed okay.
I think I landed all right. Oh, that's a long death.
So much death.
Glory to watch this fire shoot out of her fingers. That would be my turn.
Cool. So I'm gonna move a little bit up because I'm gonna be using my fireball, and it's 150. Wait, 150 VSM. Creatures in a 20-foot radius must succeed in a Dex save or take 8d6 fire damage.
Okay, so don't roll anything yet because I'll show you what we do for this one. As soon as you...
Okay, because I want to get away from Dinjon. Well, I don't really care. I want to get away from Stefanos a little more. And Tyros, but he's not in the way.
Alright, give me one.
Apparently, Alexandria, you and me are just fire fodder.
Alexandria's far enough away.
Tell me when you're ready for me to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. See, 1 second. Okay, so what we have to do is everyone you have to target everyone within that radius that can potentially be hit.
So, do you mind helping me figure out what that radius is?
Yeah.
I know I moved, but I meant to move. I was trying to do 2 things at once. So, I want to get away from Stefanos and Tyros, but I want to be kind of in optimal position to strike as many twig things as possible.
All right, so which target? Just target for me the one you're shooting first.
Okay.
Or where you're...
I'm going to do a straight line ahead of me. Well, it's not letting me select. Why not?
So
why can't I?
Let me just draw. So do you? This is basically a blast radius, right? So you need the centroid, right? So is it arguably here that you're shooting?
Yeah. So that's yep.
Okay, so that would mean if this is where we're getting, if this is where you're hitting this little, let's say this this grid right here.
Or you would then. Maybe I aim for the needle blight fright.
This one?
And then whatever isn't, yeah.
Okay, so let me then, so then what we would do is your turn, so you say this, whoops. Why am I not able to...
Yeah, I can't click, right?
I'm not able to select anything.
That's what my issue was.
I'm not able to target. Okay, hold on.
Isn't it anything within a radius? So it's not just one particular creature.
Yeah,
it's anything within a certain radius.
That's why That's why she needs to target all of them. That's within that radius.
I can target Tyros, I think, but I can't target anything else.
You can target Tyros?
I can click on Tyros. Is it not targeted him?
I don't know.
No.
So you should
Okay,
so what should happen is like control click should do it.
Nope.
Oh wait, there it is.
Oh wait, yep, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, so those three, that one.
I don't.
Let's see. And so he's your centroid, right? So it's 5, 10, 15, 20. So the one to the right, the vine blight to the right.
Yeah.
Click that one too. Okay, and we'll see. 5, 10, 15, 20. It's a 20-foot radius, right?
It is. It's 150 range.
That's the range, but what's the radius of the attack? All right, so because it's like a circle around it.
Oh, 20 foot. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, 20 foot.
20 foot
so then that
radius.
would be also then off to the left. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, nope, it's out of range. I think that's... No, wait. The one sort of to the northwest also can be targeted.
Needle Blight Dwight?
No,
Or Twig Blight.
Twig Blight, this one right here, I'll circle it for you.
That one.
That one.
Oh, okay.
And that should be, that's the only ones that you can target at that point.
Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, now for this one, then
Okay.
all you have to do on this is I think you just, which one is it, Fireball? I think you just click it. Let's see if that works. You should just click it. You don't have to drag it on anything. Just click it.
The stars to the left or the yellow first cast?
The yellow dice.
Okay, I'm just gonna click it. Oh god.
All right, and then now click the damage.
The lightning bolt.
Damn.
I'm so excited.
Doesn't anyone else wish that Dinjarin was in range of that?
Yes, 100%.
All right, so
wait, so they're not dead though, are they?
Yeah, hold on. I messed up the icons. Hold on.
Wow, the DM is hoping that a player character dies.
Oh,
wow.
Most DMs
do stupid shit.
Most DMs think it's their job to kill the characters. I do not think it's my job. I think it's my job to tell you a story and let you guys, your fate, be its own thing. But many DMs think it's their job to kill you, right? Because they represent all of the things that you fight. Hold on. There it is. Okay, from now on it'll be different icon. That was a mistake. Those blood splatters are death, though. Okay. So Glory, as this fireball like shoots across, the forest, you see all these twig blights sort of light up and like just explode with ashes. So I need you to roll a 20-sided die, and the only number you do not want to get is a 1. Do not roll a 1. If you do, you have lit the forest on fire.
Okay, cool.
All right. Good. Now, also with your fireball, the one that's still alive is on fire. Right? So I think there's...
I wanted to use my fire. So I was like, they're wood. They should...
Yeah, so let's say... So we take this, and this goes to this guy. He's on fire. And your fireball... Where'd it go? Also, this guy's on fire.
Oh, I also want... I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I also want to, as the fire, came out of me, I wanted to scream, leave, for those, that have not been engulfed in my flames of fury, leave now or forever be burned in the hell that I smite you with.
Yikes. So Glory getting all jiggy with it. So, as you scream that, the blights are aware, but continue their march forward. No, I mean they do care. All right, so hit next, and that ends your turn unless you want to move.
No. No, I don't want to move, but can you wait, never mind. I got it. Got it.
All right. So this is Needle Blight Spite. So this guy identifies Glory as his next target. 5, 15, 20. So starts making his way down the battle map. Ends turn. Big Blight. Heading down. Man, why are my tools not working anymore? My measurement tool's not working. All right, end of turn. Next. Twig Blight. 5, 10. Comes upon Mr. Tempe. Attacks with its claws. And misses. Five, 10, 15, 20. Ends turn. Needle Blight. 1 second. I need to look at this guy real quick. Needle Blight. All right. Needle Blight. It's a ranged attack. Shoots needles at Alexandria. Hits. And does some good damage to Alexandria. Although it didn't... Did it take you down? You're still light, I guess. Okay. All right. Stefanos, you're up.
I am going to move for a line of sight to Vine Blight.
And we can also, at the end of this round, either end or end our round or finish this battle. It's up to you guys.
If anybody wants to just stand behind me and encourage the rest of the things to come towards a singular location, that'll be easier for me to do said action again.
For me too. I'm gonna shoot this bunch up in the top right.
Use Toll of the Dead on Vine Blight.
All right. All right, so it failed. So roll damage.
I'm rolling the wrong thing.
I think you are, yeah. All right. So the bell rings through the forest, sort of shaking the confidence of the blights that are left behind. And they're starting to look a little uneasy if maybe they might want to back out of this whole thing.
By the way, I was doing some investigating online, and anytime there's like some sort of saving throw that a creature does, it's against your ability number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all those times we were like, oh well, we don't know what it is, just do 10. It should have been against your player character's number.
Well, no, for these
have to get.
Yeah, for these saving throws, yes. But it's the subjective ones that if in doubt, it's 10, right? So it's my discretion if it's like a perception check or whatever else. That's my discretion. But like against a creature, their saving throws are against your number. So it's It's basically you versus them.
Yeah, there's times when I was casting things I didn't know that, so that's why I was.
Well, the software,
yeah,
Fantasy Grounds should have done that for you though. All right, Stephanos, if you want to move. Otherwise, end your turn.
Stay here and end my turn.
All right. This blight is going to head right for Dinjarin, and going to constrict. It does. So, hit. And you are now grappled. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I get this right. All right, so you're grappled and restrained. So until you end grapple, you are restrained. And that ends that guy's. Now we got Ivy over here. She goes 5, 10. And she doesn't have any range. Entangled. Yep, 10 feet. Not far enough. All right, next turn. We're now need you everyone to roll initiative. INIT. Everybody roll? Awesome.
Yep.
Glory, it is your turn. You guys can, if you want to strategize, go for it. Otherwise, Glory, start your turn. Let's clear your targets, though, because you have a bunch of dead things targeted. There you go.
Well, I don't really have a need to use my fireball thing, so I was kind of hoping that everyone would kind of fall back a little bit and we could redo it. But I kind of think that I think we need to like head back towards the castle. I don't think there's anything here for us. So I call out to everyone like, let's finish up here and then let's head back. We got some stuff to share with you. So let's knock these suckers out and let's head out. So I'm gonna I need to know if Vine Blight Ivy is dead or not.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I need to move you back up. There it is. Vine Blight Ivy? Yeah. Still alive.
Still alive. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to, sorry, I did not prepare myself properly. I'm going to move here.
All right.
And I'm going to do another fireball, but I'm going to do it on Vine Blight Ivy, Needle, and Twig Blight.
You don't get the third one.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah. Unless you're...
Why?
Well, unless your centroid is going to be in the middle of all
Needle
of them.
Bright Spite.
Yeah, so if you're where is your centroid? If your centroid's here, you get them. If your centroid's
I can't. Oh.
If your centroid's here, then this one is too far away.
But if I am here, then it should be fine.
Yeah, but so what happens? It's not where you're standing. It's where your like where is the centroid of your spell, right? So think of it as a circle. You want to move the
blast
circle
radius.
Yeah, the blast radius. So you don't want to target anything specifically if you want to include all three of those. If otherwise the center of your I'll show you a better way. If you choose that person,
okay, let's just do that.
Okay, well, just so everyone knows, like your circle would be like this, right? And that means that this guy, well, it's too big. This guy would not be in it. This guy shouldn't have been in it. See how that would have worked? Whereas if you move your circle center over, then your blast radius would be here, and you get all of those guys. All right, let me erase all that crap.
Okay. Do it.
You guys are seeing the drawings, right? Like, I'm not just...
Yeah.
Okay. They need better drawing tools, because I think that would be a really valuable tool, and I think you guys can do it, by the way, as well.
It has never worked for me.
Yeah, my other team uses it all the time. So weird. All right, there you go.
So the difference between a fireball and a scorching ray is just one is a stream and one is a ball, right?
Scorching ray, I think, is attack one thing.
Okay, cool. All right, that's what I thought. Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
So what I'm curious about is, how many times can you use fireball?
Well, it's an action.
Yeah, but is it not a spell? Guess not.
It's not under spells. No, it's just an action.
All right. Well, we'll have to look into that later. That seems insane that you could.
Might be powerful.
Yeah, that seems like you like. It seems like I'm missing something because like you shouldn't be able to light up an entire area every turn. But until next time.
You don't want me to. I can.
No. I think
use...
that's on the DM. Right. So that's me for me to figure out. I got to figure it out. So go ahead and roll it this time for sure.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
And you hit one of them at least, and then go ahead and roll some serious dicage.
So it is a spell, so each time you use it, it's supposed to take a spell slot. The casting time is one action. So what the one action means is it takes up your action to cast the spell.
Yeah, and weirdly, like I don't see even spell slots on her thing. Like there's no spell slots.
I have spell casting under spell slots, and it says first, and then there's pact magic second.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's all your. So you've used all your spell slots today.
Yes. Okay. Oops.
All right. Thank you, Dinjarin. So that's good though. So like we were still above board.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Unless you're moving,
in
end your
that
turn.
case, I am going. I don't think I can move any further, so I am going to end my turn.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Dinjarin. You are grappled. You need to break grapple.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's not a whole lot I can do. And that's my turn, right? Breaking grapple.
Breaking grapple is your turn, is half of your movement. It's your action and half of your movement, but you can try to move.
Failed! Wow!
Yeah.
And can I do a bonus action if I'm grappled, or no?
I don't see why not. If you get a bonus action, I don't see why you couldn't try again.
Hold on. I thought it was a bonus action. Let me just double check. Oh, it is. Okay, cool. I don't have it marked correctly. I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
No, you can't do that.
As my I can't do that?
No, because you're restrained. You have to break. You could try breaking grapple again as your bonus action. Is what I was thinking you were talking about.
So even though it's just an incantation, I can't do that.
Well, I mean, then I mean, you aren't supposed to do anything. Like we can look this up later. Otherwise,
okay.
otherwise a grappled caster would still be able to battle.
Got it. Okay, then my turn is over, I guess.
Unless you're using your bonus action to try to break grapple again. That's what I thought you were doing.
Can I do that?
That's why I've said I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that if you have a bonus action.
I only have certain bonus actions that are spells. I don't have a.
Oh, okay.
Just
got it.
Like, so my character doesn't have that.
Oh, okay, you don't have a. Okay, got it. All right, so then yeah, you're done.
Yeah. Okay.
Tyros.
Tempe.
I'm sorry, Tempe.
All right, I'm gonna target the big needle blight Dwight with my lightning arrow, and well, let's see if I hit first.
All right,
and then we can go through damage.
Is that the range, or is that just one at a time, right? How does it work?
Pardon? Oh, lightning arrow. It just if I hit, it's like everyone within a radius gets hurt, but there's no one in the radius. It's like 5 or 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
Needle blight just seems the most dangerous, the most threatening at this point.
Yeah, it's the only ranged one. No, you do hit.
Okay, so with lightning arrow. The weapon's ammunition or itself is thrown. Weapon transform into lightning. The target takes 4d8 lightning damage on a hit, or half as much on a miss, instead of the weapon's normal damage.
So it always does damage, even if it.
Yeah. Whether you
right.
hit or miss, each creature within 10 feet of the target must make a dexterity saving throw. I don't think there's anyone within 10 feet.
There is. There's one twig blight within. Well, wait a minute. Alexandria is within 10 feet, and the twig blight to the north is within 10 feet.
Oh, sorry, Alexandria. Okay, so
I'm pretty low. If anyone wants to heal me after what happens,
I'll heal you if your dexterity saving throw doesn't hurt you. So the target takes 4d8 lightning damage on a hit. So first I gotta dole out that.
Yep.
How do I do 4d8?
Target both the twig blight and Alexandria. All three of them.
Well, they don't take 4d8 damage. It's the target.
Oh, okay. Then
yeah, they have to run.
Yeah, they get to save themselves. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Then do that.
Yeah. So, how do I throw 4d8? That's what I forgot.
Shouldn't it just be the damage, like the damage on the? Is it one of your actions, or is it not? Is it just a?
So it's a modifier to his arrow.
Yeah.
So right-click on a D8, and you should be able to add until you have 4 D8s. Keep right-clicking until you get 4 of them, and then roll over the character.
Okay.
Well, I think first you left-click and then click your right-click to add more dice.
Control.
Yeah.
Control. Modifier. Can I just go 4 on there?
All right.
I dropped it on him. Nothing happened.
No, you drop it in the chat window.
It's 1.
No, you got to drop all 4 of them in there.
Modifier 4.
Why are you doing modifier 4? Oh, is it a +4?
Sorry. All right.
So left click the D8, the dice, right? And
I
then
don't have a left click. Is that control click?
No, it's your normal click. Just click it. And then how would you do a right click normally? A shift? Or two fingers if you're using a pad?
Okay. No.
Oh, just roll.
I'll just do 4 of them.
Yeah, it's 4 of them. Okay, Stepanos, thank you.
There we go.
Okay, so that is. So the +4 goes away, so it's a 1, an 8, a 1, and an 8, right? For the 4. 16, 17, 18. So that's 18 damage on Needleblight Dwight. Where's Needleblight Dwight? So 18 damage. Oops. No wonder my keyboard's not working. It was turned off. So that killed Needlewhite Blight. Okay.
Okay.
And then,
so now,
what about the other 2?
Twig Blight and Alexandria must take a dexterity saving throw. Each of these creatures takes 2d8 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
So what's your dexterity? All right.
My dexterity is, I just say +4 skills.
Your dexterity is 15, so she has to beat a 15. So Alexandria succeeded, so she doesn't take damage. And then let me do the Twig Blight. Dexterity. So neither of them take damage. All right, that ends your turn. Unless you want to move.
No, I don't want to give that Twig an opportunity.
What's that?
Isn't it they don't take full... I think he said they don't take full damage.
Oh, they take... Okay, so they take half?
2d8. Yeah.
Yeah, one.
So roll 2d8, and this will be what they take damage on. And who are you doing first? This is for the Twig Blight or the...
Still might be dead.
Twig Blight.
All right, Twig Blight first. Go ahead and roll 2d8. Unless you want me to do it for you.
It's half of.
Yeah, I guess you can just roll 1d8 then. That's the same thing as 2d8.
Yeah,
divided by
1d8.
two.
So this goes to Twig Blight.
Oh, okay. So Twig Blight. Hold on. Where is he? Where the heck is he at on the combat tracker? Hold on. It takes me a second to. I just need to start naming all of these things.
Yeah, they all have the same name.
Twig Blight. No, that's not him. Twig Blight. No, that's not him. What about this one? Twig Blight. Nope. Twig Blight. Nope. Twig Blight. Nope. Dude. I hate this. Is it him? No. Is it...
It's one of the ones that's not unconscious, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to find him.
Yeah. I only see 2 that are healthy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Why can't I? There needs to be a way to go to it in the combat tracker. This is so flipping annoying. Twig Blight. See, that's unconscious. So it has to be this one. So that would be. Hold on. Sorry, guys. This is not supposed to take this long. So there's either the one. I'm going to do something that's going to make this look less exciting, but I'm going to clear dead. Give me a second. Okay, now all that should be left are things that are alive. Okay, so this one... Okay, there we go. Double click, and he gets 8 points of damage, right?
Yeah.
Dead. All right. That ends your turn.
This damage is for Alexandria.
Alexandria, that's right.
Hopefully it's low. Oh, sorry, Alexandria.
So now it's 17 points of
Got a
damage.
hot 5 now.
All right, so she's there we go. All right, that should end your turn then, unless you're moving at all.
No opportunity attacks for this Twig Blight.
All right.
You added
Tyros
health
is
to
going to
me
kill it.
instead of subtracting it.
I did?
Or...
No.
Oh, wait, never mind. I've been misreading it. Never mind. I'm not as
I
bad
eat
as
lightning for breakfast, says Alexandria.
All right, Tyros, you're up.
Yeah, which one am I going for? The one right beside Tempe?
Yeah, get it.
All
Or
right.
get the one that's attacking Djarin.
Yep, I can go after either one. So
I'd say Dinjar needs a little help.
all right, I will actually. What I will do? Can I move here? I'm going to move in between the two, and hopefully both of my weapon attacks, I'll be able to take both of them out.
Which one did you pick?
All right, here we go.
All right, so let us start with attacking this Vine Blight Creeper.
All right.
With my rapier.
Indeed.
And it's a hit.
All right, so you got a hit.
How much damage?
Well, enough.
Enough. And with my second attack, I'm going to, or second weapon, I'm going to target Vine Blight Sumac.
So untarget the other one. There you go. So then Tyros dispatches the Twig Blight and spins around and
Spins around with his dagger and does he? Oh,
And he screams something like, "I'm pruning the hedges." And does some moderate damage to the twig blight.
That's some moderate damage. And that ends my turn.
You got dosed, you guys.
Yeah, he did. All right, let's see. Attacks Tempe. And misses. Alexandria.
All right. I'm just going to attack the one that's next to me.
And by the way, as Tempe dispatched that vine, Dinjarin, you are no longer grappled or restrained.
Good job, Tyros.
And a crit. Wow. This guy's a little more badass than I thought. So, takes the Vine Blight into critical territory.
You win some, you lose some, I guess.
You do, and you lose 11 damage. This one goes to 11, doesn't it? Spinal tap. 11 damage to yourself. That puts you at... Oop, I just killed you accidentally. There we go.
All right. I'm gonna use another. I feel like I need to kill this guy, or I'm dead when on the crackback.
Oh, well, so many criticals. Your target can only speak the truth for 24 hours.
That'll be really useful. All right. Whew.
So there you go. Dead. This brings us to Stefanos. Stefanos was going to move and heal anyone that needed healing. So she moves towards you, lays her hand upon you. And, well, actually, she says, "Would you like to be healed, or do you want to wait for a long rest?"
I'd love some healing if you can spare it.
All right. So, let's see, healing word. 1 second. All right, so healing word comes down upon you. She whispers her healing word. Chicken pot pie. And you get back 5 more points of damage. That ends her turn. I'm going to roll everyone's initiative. It's just easier this time. All initiatives. And start it. Glory is up. Bring us home, Glory.
Don't fireball me.
I don't know if you're talking, but we cannot hear you.
You're on mute.
Wow. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go on Twig Ignite, help out, and I'm just going to do a cantrip. Eldritch Blast. Help.
You hit.
It's dead.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. So I'm still
Glory, lay
of the
down
mindset.
Lay down the fire.
And there's one left.
Where? I see nothing.
Oh, you're right.
It's dead. Yeah. So I think I call over to the others and say, regroup.
So the question is, are you regrouping to the east tower or the West Tower, to continue your adventure, or are you heading to the mansion for some healing?
Well, I think I'm gonna start running out of the forest back where we came from, and maybe like at the edge of the forest where like maybe like towards the mansion or towards, I don't know. I'm just gonna start running in a direction.
He needs
All
to
right.
heal.
Slow down.
Yeah, I just need to know who needs to, like, where are you guys going? Because there's no role playing from here. I just need to know where I need to drop you for the next game.
I vote short rest at the mansion, and then we could continue on.
All right, short rest will not get
Alexandria,
you
that's pretty hard.
Yeah, short rest will not get you your spell slots back. So, Glory will go into the next leg without any spells. Just so you know.
Yeah, let's go rest in the mansion. Let's go
Long rest
over there.
then?
Yeah, let's do a long rest at the mansion.
Okay, so
All right,
let's
I need my fire back.
So let's do that, and then we will call it. Let me go back into the mansion.
By the way, was anyone else thinking chicken pot, chicken pot, chicken pot, pot?
I was definitely thinking that.
Tiki parm parm.
All right, so you guys are gonna go into here, and then we can regroup next time. You're all hanging out. Tempe, at this point, the soup has worn off. There's no more truth is happening. Tyros, Stephanos, and Dinjarin. And then, two things happen right now. You get a long rest, so enjoy this long audio adventure. And party sheet comes up, experience comes over, and you have defeated the blight, so let's add that to your list of fun stuff. Let's award that experience. We lost mushrooms. All right. Award. All right, so you've gotten that for you. And when we next pick up, you guys will have regrouped, and you're all healed up. Everyone looks good to go. Your spell slot should be reset, and we'll continue our adventure. All that's left that you know of is the mystery of the 3 caves and the mystery of the West Tower that you seem to know how to unlock at this point. The narrative unfolds. All right, guys, any questions or comments?
Nope.
Nope.
Good round. Got some mysteries, got some fighting.
Had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I
Yeah.
got fire.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
much
I
fire.
think Glory gets the nod for. Well, I think Tyrus gets the nod for getting you guys into trouble, and your leader Glory gets the nod for decimation. So, with interestingly, with no collateral problem, didn't hit anyone else. So, all right, guys. As always, thanks for hanging, and as they say,
until next time on the Smite Force Chronicles.
See y'all.
Thanks all.
Thank you.